In my experience, Tesla was a different company at the time, as you said, but Elon, I think, is pretty much the same kind of person that he's been most of his life. He's one of the most driven individuals I've ever met. He's got incredibly high bandwidth, but he's got zero tolerance for any hint of bureaucracy. And he often asked us to take special forces methods to get our jobs accomplished. And I can imagine.
What did that mean?
Well, it meant basically try is not good enough, you need to do. And basically results matter. And to not let things get in the way that most people would be stumbled by or snagged by. So we broke through any red tape with a machete, and we had a great deal of incentive to make sure we were accomplishing what we were set out to do and what his vision was. In that case, it was electric vehicle powertrain and new to the world battery technology. Now it's whatever the challenges are, whether they're self-driving or other alternative modes of transportation. So he's just feeling his oats these days, and I think that the concept of having the public scrutiny of the public markets has got to wear on him after a while, and he wants the freedom to soar.
So, Dave, on these special forces methods, help viewers understand the line, if there is a line, between that sort of get-it-done mentality and recklessness, which is what obviously his critics charge him with.
Well, I think that's in the eye of the beholder, and oftentimes it's pretty difficult to tell. I think back to the 1976 Winter Olympics and watching Franz Klammer run the downhill, where he was on the edge of sheer collapse and destruction at every gate. Elon runs his life a lot like that, but he also had a tremendous experience and ended up on the podium with a gold medal. I see that as the same kind of mentality here. So pundits can find anything that feels particularly reckless, but in the end, I think it comes down to whether or not you believe that a line's being crossed, but he probably doesn't.
You mentioned that this idea of cutting through red tape and a disdain for bureaucracy. What's, I guess, kind of ironic about this tweet and everything we've seen thus far in the last week and a half is that it almost seems like that tweet, and specifically funding secured, now the reports that the SEC is probing the company, you've got these investor lawsuits, et cetera, that he's actually brought in more red tape and more bureaucracy to the company in recent days. How would you expect this to play out? And is there a scenario in which Elon Musk stops tweeting along the way?
That's an excellent question. I'm no expert in SEC or anything. I'm a technologist, but ultimately, I think he saw. I mean, we all see an example in this in the current administration that this is kind of maybe a new way of getting things done. I think he's tested the waters here. Whether or not he's crossed a line that's going to get him in trouble, I can't say anything to that. But what I can say is that I think he's a pretty smart guy, and I don't think that he would continue to cause himself pain if it really was, not in his best interest.